Hey folks, this is Dr. Van Breeding. At MCHC, we've secured the best providers and medical staff to care for you and your family. But sometimes your health may require more specialized treatment. MCHC has great relations with the best specialists in Hazard, Pikeville, or Lexington, making sure your referral is handled in a timely manner. Your health is the number one priority of ours, and the ability to care for you is just another way Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation is providing better health for a longer life.
Hey, this is Oliver Simmons. You're listening to You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady.
This is Aaron Harrison. You listening to You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady.
This is Alex Fortress. I'm on with You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady, and hopefully it should be a good time.
Brady, we are back. You know what we need? We need to hire somebody, man, to share all the posts, all the social media stuff.
We need an assistant.
It's hard.
It's hard. A clipper, you know, you're doing like 3 jobs. You're doing your job, you're doing my job, you're doing Josh Cornett's job. I mean,
you know, that's the big thing. I want to know what Josh Cornett's doing.
I know what he's not doing. I bet you Josh doesn't even know we do a show anymore. Can you hear me?
I can. He probably doesn't. He probably really doesn't.
He probably watches us, you know, as he's working on his car and, you know, filming his birds and
the Bronco. But
no, man, we're, you know, sorry, I'm on the car right now. I'm almost home. New Circle Road decided to fill potholes. So instead of it being a 10-minute drive home from dinner, it's turned into about a 35-minute drive home from dinner.
That's the way it goes. I tell you what, I wish that I made the money that Emily made and that she would just take me out to dinner all the time too. JB Steels.
Yeah. JB Steels, it's good if anybody hasn't. I recommend the burger. Their sauce is good. But, you know, Blue, you have nothing to talk about. Every time you want to go to dinner, you say Tony's. So, I mean,
hey, I get Tony's, man. I get Tony's once a year.
You did call me today, and I heard in a drive-through line you ordered a chicken meal from Long John Silver's. So,
that's right.
I heard the crunch.
That's right. Yep. We've been on the Long Johns ever since. Everybody knows me and you and our Long John's obsession, but now on Mondays you can get 2 meals for $12. You get 2 for 1. You can't beat it.
Amazing.
Beat it.
That's amazing.
And now they have the 2-piece chicken strip basket for $6.
That's actually just enough to not make you feel make you feel bad.
It is. That's it. Just enough to not make you feel bad.
I love it. Do you like their tartar sauce? I can't remember if I asked you.
I'm not a tartar sauce guy, man.
What do you get? What do you eat with? Do you just dip it in ketchup, or what do you eat? Ketchup. See, I'm not a big fan of tartar sauce, but I would bath and bathe tartar sauce from Long John Silver's. I love it. It's like candy. It's like nothing else.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not a tartar sauce guy. What really turns me off is vinegar, man. When people come in there and start pouring vinegar all over their fish.
Yeah, I'm on vinegar. Oh.
I ain't about it. I also want to know how Emily is texting, and she's like texting and driving, essentially.
How did that? I didn't even see her do that.
Texting and driving. You got to watch her, Brady. She's sneaky.
She said she was at a red light.
Ah.
It's summer break. I'm a rebel.
Teachers on summer break, man. Teachers on summer break. Brady, we got a lot happening, man. We had a lot happen over the weekend. Shout out to, I was going to say shout out to Andrew Ortelli for getting married, but really we should say shout out to Lauren Hurst for putting up with his ass and marrying him. I don't know what's wrong with her, but shout out to Lauren for marrying our good friend Andrew Ortelli.
I said, in the chat when, we all got together, the bachelor party chat, we look forward. It's really not about like, it's about giving us a reason to get together. I feel like this group, we don't get together often, and shout out Lauren is the MVP, for saying yes to get us all together. So, we get to get together for the wedding. Shout out Lauren. I don't know what Ort said to you, but it worked.
It worked. Whatever it was, it worked.
I guess.
I wish I had the clip, man. One of my highlights of the weekend, Brady. My goal was to put a clip of it on there today, and I didn't get back from work in time. My highlight of the weekend, I think, was we got to go this weekend. We got to take our good friend Andrew Ortelli to see one of our favorite music artists in the world, DJ Tuttle. We got to go see DJ Tuttle at Paddock in Lexington. Probably might be the highlight of my year, let alone the highlight of the weekend. What do you think about that?
Oh,
I think he's lost us for a minute.
but
we got. I can hear you. I can hear you. But yeah, if DJ Tuttle, if you're listening, man, it was a highlight to be at your show on Saturday. Absolutely.
The Tut himself. Can you hear me?
I can.
It's like you're frozen, Wes.
I think it's you.
Hold on, let me see here. Give me 1 second.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, the weekend we got to see DJ Tuttle. Big show today, though. We're going to talk a little bit about this weekend, some of the folks we got to see and hang out with. Only a few of the discussions we can actually talk about on air. But I also want to throw out there. Big show today. Milan Momcilovic, Austin Kidd, if you're watching, you already know, or we already know how excited you are about that. He is a cat. Finally got that piece that kind of changes the summer with that. Roster suddenly starts looking good. Also tonight, we are drafting fake all-time UK teams live on the website that's taken over the internet over the last few days. We'll do that tonight. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the landscape of college sports. We'll mix a little bit of government with sports tonight. But Brady, a lot of stuff to talk about.
A lot of stuff. We didn't get on last week either, so we've got a lot to talk about. So let's. What do you got planned?
Man, I think we have to start basically with what has kind of been on everybody's radar over the weekend, right? We had that moment where Milan withdraws from the draft, and he really gives indication, right, that there's three top schools going into this. Originally, St. John's was in the mix, but then you kind of find out that's not going to happen. St. John's lands their other kid. And so really you get the indication there's three schools, right? You've got Kentucky, Louisville, and Arizona sticks their nose into the mix. And so kind of all of Big Blue Nation over the weekend. Man, I tell you, Brady, one of the funniest things in the world is when Kentucky and Louisville are both in the top three of a top recruit, because all of a sudden Louisville becomes a more historic program than the University of Kentucky. I don't know how it happens, but that, according to Louisville fans, that's the way it is. Kentucky's never been relevant. Don't understand where it comes from, but it's always entertaining. And so, Brady, I feel like even going all the way into Sunday, I feel like nobody really had any kind of clue what was going to happen here with Milan. And then we landed. He finally announces. How much of that, Brady, how long do you think he had his mind made up before we actually heard about it?
Man, I actually think I think it was probably to the finish line. I wouldn't be shocked. You know, you've got. I bet you it was. I bet you it was later than probably people expect. I think people probably think that Kentucky was probably the no brainer. And Louisville was throwing around numbers and things like that, but I think it was a lot harder of a decision than he made it to be. But I actually think, I wouldn't be shocked if Iowa State was actually. I'd be interested to ask him. I bet you Iowa State was still in the mix. Like I wouldn't people never really talked about them, but retention's always cheaper than going after a guy. And so I would, just because of the loyalty and familiarity with the head coach, I wouldn't be shocked if they actually were a little bit higher on people's radar than people think. But, I think, listen, it's not all about money. Money's good, but, it was probably a lot harder decision than we probably think about.
I want to throw out there one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And to me, this shows you the brand of basketball. That's something we always debate on this show and our group chats is, what does the brand matter? And to me, one of those instances where you saw the brand matter was, if you noticed, all of Iowa State's media, kind of their version of KSR, the drill, all that stuff. All weekend, they covered, where is Milan going to go? Is it Kentucky or is it Louisville? Brady, am I just crazy? When a player leaves, did we blow up social media about where is Mo Diabate going to go?
No.
No, that's one of the wild things to me.
Yeah, it was a unique situation. You had the top transfer coming from a school that, it was crazy. It's the school that put Kentucky out last year.
Yep.
It's even kind of wilder, but they're, it's nuts how things plan out. You lose out on probably the most prominent recruitment of Mark Pope's career with Tyron Stokes. And then this kind of falls as a possibility. It's pretty unique. And it's a better fit than probably Tyron Stokes, a different position, but it's probably in the day, probably going to work out better for both parties. So it was interesting to see kind of how everything played out.
I'm curious to hear you watch a lot of college basketball. You coached in college basketball for a while. Brady, I'm really curious to hear, what do you think? Obviously, he came in last year as the country's top shooter, right? Shot almost 50% from outside, did shoot 50% from the field. What is his biggest impact to this Kentucky team? I feel like he was more than just a shooter, but why is that? Why is he such a big piece for this Kentucky roster?
His shooting ability. I really like, he's a tall shooter, and stretching out the floor is huge. I think you saw it's going to be, we watched Iowa State. I mean, you look at these guards, they're all really big threats of driving the basketball, and that's what gets him shots. So I think, what Iowa State did for him is they got him a ton of open looks. I mean, you can see here, most of his shots aren't guarded. And I think that's a testament to their coach and then their guard play, tough guards. And if we can talk all we want about how good of a shooter he is, but if the guards that Kentucky has can't get him the ball, in certain situations, that's something else. And if you talked about it, just because you're a good shooter doesn't mean you get open looks. You gotta, so it's going to stretch the floor. It's going to open up rooms for driving lanes for, Zoom and Wilkins and these other guys, but it's going to be how they get him shots.
So obviously he changes a lot. He's going to get him shots. And Brady, in my opinion, one of the players that he helps, two of the players, in my opinion, he helps the most is he takes a lot of pressure off of Wilkins. He's a kid that I was really worried about coming into this year with the leap he's making in divisions. A lot of high anticipations around him, but when you've got Milan on the floor, I feel like that's really going to help Wilkins out with his game. Yeah. And I also think it's going to help Moreno. He's a player last year that Moreno was really, really easy to double down on last year, Brady. Yeah. You could dig on Moreno easy. This year, it's going to be a little bit harder to dig in on him. It's going to give him a little bit more room to see what he holds.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. That's a great point. Listen, like he's a great player. I think there's going to be no doubt in terms of their scoring ability. Now, it's going to be. I really think that's. I think this team's future, whether they're going to be a second weekend team or potentially a Final Four team, is going to be how good they can guard, and I think the growth of Malachi Moreno. I think people are extremely high on Malachi right now. He has to make a leap. I think he will, but this team on paper, I think I think we're ignorant if we don't say that they're a second weekend team on paper. Like I think that's a pretty given, but for them to make the third weekend is going to be how good are they defensively? And is Malachi Moreno going to be a, second team all SEC or better? And if he is, then I think they got a real shot at making the Final Four. But if not, I think they're probably I don't think they're making it past a Sweet 16 or Elite 8. I don't think they're making a third weekend if Malachi is not like an all conference player.
How many minutes realistically? Obviously, Brady, I think you improved your front court a little bit this year. You lose Brandon Garrison, right? And you lose Mo Diabate, but I don't think they reached their potential together, especially Mo Diabate last season. You bring in a big guy from Washington who is not a starter. He's not a superstar, but he is muscle, right? He is energy, something that you expected Mo to be last year. And I don't know that you got as much of that. You bring in the big kid from overseas who is going to be able to stretch the floor. He can play a little bit more. I think that's an upgrade from Brandon Garrison, just a tad. How many minutes realistically with those two added? And you got to think you also get your boy from JMU. How many minutes realistically do we see Moreno playing per game? Does he have to still play more, even though you have those improved subs?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I've played against Frank. That's insane. The fact that I'm now like 4 years outside of college basketball and we played Frank Kepnang at Arizona State. Where Kepnang is going to be good is, he's a guy that can come in against the like physical teams and you're going to be fine. Like him and Malachi couldn't be more different, which is a good thing. The problem is Frank is not a guy you can play through. Like he's not a guy that, is going to make passes and like reads and things like that. So from Malachi's perspective, in terms of offense, him staying out of foul trouble and being on the floor is important for them because he can kind of initiate the offense like you saw an Amari do, something like that, and get Milan and those guys kind of shots. Frank can't. Frank's not that guy. Frank's a guy that's going to, he's going to get a couple fouls. He's going to be kind of like that enforcer down low, rebound the heck out of the ball, block shots, do that kind of stuff. But when he's in the game, it's going to be like if Malachi's in trouble, it's just like it's going to change how they play pretty drastically, I think. Unless the JMU, I forget his name, McBride. Unless if McBride can play the 5, it's going to be a completely different way of playing.
I think what's big. I think Mark Pope played really, really well when he had a big like Amari Williams who was able to create up top. When you had a shooter like Kobe Brea that had the height. Let's be honest, Kobe Brea couldn't do a lot, Brady. Kobe Brea couldn't guard hardly anybody, right? Mm-hmm. No offense to Cody Stumbo, but I think Cody Stumbo could get by Kobe Brea about any day. Mm-hmm. He is a Hall of Famer at Alice Lloyd and all. But
and he made sure to tell us that this weekend.
He did. But, I think Milan is a tad bit better defensively, not much than a Kobe Brea, but the guy's 6'8". He's a little bit more versatile. He can stretch the floor like crazy. I think it helps. I mean, he shot 48.7% from 3 last year, Brady, at a high volume, very high volume.
Yep.
Which I think is crazy. 136 made threes, which is kind of crazy to me. But I think it also adds a little bit of lineup flexibility. It gives you a few more options offensively when he's on the floor of guys you can put in around him. And I'm going to be honest, ever since Mark Pope's been a coach, it has been electric in Rupp Arena when Kentucky comes down and hits 3 or 4 threes in a row on consecutive possessions. It gets loud in there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, like the threat of that 3-point shot for him is going to open up the game so much. And, I feel like last year they didn't have that at all. And, you can at least say, hey, this guy can get you back in a game pretty quick. So it's going to be, listen, the pressure's been put off a little bit by this, this commitment, but you still have to win. And now the pressure's on to win. And I think, what would you call it? What would you say? Is it a bust? When's it a bust? What level with this roster now? What do you think is the disappointing season?
Man, I think a disappointing season with this roster is another second round exit. I'm going to be honest with you, Brady, and I've defended Mark Pope. I think Mark Pope is a tremendous basketball coach. I got to points where I worry about his longevity at UK, but I think last year he did a phenomenal job. Brady, we didn't have a point guard. You lost your only point guard you had in Jalen Lowe to injury. Jaden Quaintance never got healthy, so you never had that piece that you hoped. It was a risk. It was a gamble in taking him. And then Cam Williams stayed hurt down the road a lot late in the season, and you still won over 20 games, and you still made it to the second round. You beat a pretty good first-round team in Santa Clara. So I thought Mark Pope's coaching job last year was impressive for what he had. So to improve that roster, to actually have a point guard and a couple backups that can play point guard, to have the nation's best shooter from the season before, to return your starting center from last year and Cam Williams, your starting small forward from last year, I think another second round exit is a disappointment.
Yeah. I think you got to make a second weekend. If you don't make a second weekend, I think it's time for conversations for something. I don't know what that looks like. Mm-hmm. But a second weekend for sure. But you really don't know. I mean, you don't know how good you are until you get all these guys together. Like, we have no idea on some of these guys, but it should be, at least there's hope, there's hope now. It's a completely different, and you got to give them credit, like as much as people were tearing him down 3 weeks ago, I think you got to give credit where credit's due. And, he put together a roster that I think the staff can be proud of and people should be proud of. Like, he took a lot of heat, and it takes a lot to, drown out the noise. So, I mean, you have to give, the flowers where they're due.
So you see a lot of people's mood change. And to me, that tells you a lot about Milan. A lot of people who were really, really downing Mark Pope, as you mentioned, and calling for him to be fine, changed their tone a little bit on social media now, Brady. My big question, when we think about Kentucky basketball, is Milan the piece that makes Kentucky a national contender, or do we still have a major concern on this roster? Is Milan that good?
I don't think so. I think he's good. I don't think the roster's national championship good. I think there's a lot of really good teams out there. I wouldn't put them in the really good team yet. There's elite teams and elite rosters. I mean, you look at like Florida. I really like Duke. Duke's got a great roster. I think Houston got most of their guys back. I think. Don't quote me on that. Mm-hmm. You got to throw Bill Self can Kansas. I wouldn't consider them a contender yet, but that's still yet to be decided. This is my fear, Wes. We talked about this last year with Ortega. I fear, can Milan be your best player and get to a Final Four? Mm-hmm. We kind of talked about that with Ortega, during his career. Ortega kind of, became Kentucky's best player when I don't think he was recruited to be that. You know, he was recruited to be like the second, third option, really good, but he became really good and became the best player. Can Milan be your best player and make a Final Four? I'm not sure.
So let us know. Tanner says Sweet 16.
Yeah, because that's where Indiana's been living.
I was going to say, I don't know if I can trust any Indiana fan on giving a Kentucky prediction. But comment your season predictions. Where do you think, now that we have landed Milan, where is Kentucky's ceiling at this point?
That's what
Tanner
I think.
says a great second option.
I think Kentucky needs a dude. Who's the dude? Is there a dude that's going to pop up? Is it Wilkins? I think Wilkins might be the guy that could. I don't know if Zoom can. I don't know if.
Here's my hopes for Zoom. I think Zoom might finally be the point guard that isn't going to put up huge numbers, but he's going to play solid defense, and he's going to be strong enough to withstand injury over the course of the season, which is something Mark Pope has never had at Kentucky. Lamont Butler was hurt. Jalen Lowe was hurt. So I think Zoom gives you that steady point guard that is physical enough to withstand SEC.
We'll see.
We'll see. I think, as far, Brady, would you say that Wilkins is your highest potential?
Yes. He's
player?
the guy that could be the dude. And if he's the dude, then like I just think that, like, you know, setting the expectation here for them to get to like here, like Final Four, I think you gotta have be Wilkins better than we think, and you gotta have Malachi be better than you think. Milan's gonna be who he is. I think Zoom's gonna be who he is. If Wilkins can be better than we think, and if Malachi can become all conference, I think this team can be pretty dangerous. If that doesn't happen, I think their floor is probably like a Sweet 16.
Former guest on the show, JMU head coach Preston Spradlin, Brady, told me and you at a game, JMU at Marshall this past season, that Justin McBride he said that we didn't get to see it in the Marshall game, and we've not seen it most of the games in the season, but that Justin McBride was the top player in the Sun Belt. What kind of impact can he have on this Kentucky team?
Yeah, I think he's, you know, if it really, when it comes down to these mid majors, and I think you're going to see Wilkins, you know, learn this as well. It's like, what shot were you able to get back in the mid major days, and then what's not going to be available for you in the SEC? It's guys are going to come close out on you quicker. They're longer. They're more athletic. Like, shots that you were getting at this mid major level consistently, they're not there. So how quickly can he adjust? And you know what? He's got people in front of him that, you know, we saw it with some of the guys that Mark Pope's had. Like, you don't have the like patience to learn this stuff. You know, if he can't get a shot off, he can't succeed, then you know what? Play somebody else. So, yeah, no, it's going to be. I really have no idea, because we didn't get to see him up in person, Blue.
No, we didn't. You know, the thing that I like about him, you can see, obviously these are highlights. You can't determine what a player's like off of highlights. It's their best plays, right? But one of the things that he has that I look forward to is he has a little bit of that Mark Pope basketball in him. He likes to step outside. He likes to shoot. He'll shoot it from outside. You'll watch him in these clips. He'll shoot a turnaround fadeaway jumper. He's a player that will shoot in high volumes, and I think for a Mark Pope team to be successful, they have to have shooters that shoot in high volume.
Shooters, and then, you know, I think you got to have guys that can be a threat off the bounce. And I think, like, I would really love our friend Austin Kidd to break down some film of the Milan stuff, because I would love to know, like, how many of his threes came off of, like, kickouts. Because you see a lot of his clips, and it's all, you know, really good looks. And, you know, I mean, I'm just trying to think guys like in the past that Cal had. Malik Monk, man, he was great at shooting and making tough shots. He didn't need guys to kick out to him. You had guys like, you know, Tyler Hero could do a little bit of both. You know, he had some wiggle, could get his own shot, but, you know, he had like Ashton Higgins get him shots. You had, I'm just trying to think of someone that was really, you know, catch and shoot. in the past. Like quickly needed looks. Like quickly needed guys to get him looks. Quickly wasn't doing much off the bounce. So I think there's going to be a lot more pressure to get these guys downhill for him. So
I agree. And I think that's, I'm curious, Brady. I mentioned earlier that I think the biggest thing Milan brings to the team is his ability to get a little bit more flexible with lineups. So one of the things I'm curious to see, you can always go with a little bit more balance, play Milan at the 3. You've got Justin McBride, the overseas kid coming in at the 4, playing Milan at the 3. Or you can move Milan to the 4 realistically and put Cam Williams on the floor, which adds you another, decent shooter. Or you could really go really big and weird if you wanted to. I really almost think if you had to, that you could put Momcilovic at the 2, you could put Milan at the 2, put McBride at the 3, and then pull in a couple guys at the 4 and the 5. Now, that's a really weird lineup, but I think if you had to go big, you could do it.
That's a real big lineup, dog.
It's a big lineup. It's a big lineup. So curious to see how all that works. Comment. We've heard from Tanner. Comment your season predictions for Kentucky, where you think they'll go. We'll talk a little bit more about Milan and Kentucky and their ceilings here in a minute. Brady, one of the things that I really want to break down, not break down, we've got to talk about, and you said it was very cringe, and you're exactly right. Can we just please, for a second, talk about the video that came out today of Mark Pope's daughters, 3 of the daughters, and their response. And have you seen on Layla Pope's Instagram the comments from Brandon Garrison, Mo? Those guys have commented on there at this point. It's really, really interesting. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here if you've not seen it. Can we hear that? Is the sound playing?
I don't think sound's playing, Blue.
Okay, let's restart it. And I want comment on a scale, if you agree with Brady, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cringe this is. And I want to know too, do you approve of this? Is this acceptable? Or is this just ridiculous?
Gone. Double gone. Visible completely. Never existed.
We'll just put the head coach of Florida on his face. Wait, can we just do that right now?
Right now?
We look good. Let's not totally stand out. What are you talking about? Yeah, we do.
You can try to face on
And then we should put a heart around to take it. No one will know who is. Like, who did that? No. We'll put a heart on all the ones that graduated.
Our evidence. Our fingerprints are evidence.
We love him. He's gone. But we love him. It doesn't matter. He didn't love us.
We were going to do cake.
All right, Brady.
I told you my thoughts.
Very, very cringe. Here's my I love it, right? Because they are buying into dad's love for Kentucky, right? But Mark Pope at this point has this reputation of not being able to recruit because of cringiness.
Yeah, it's it looks like they're having fun. So yeah, Tanner keeps hitting me with all these videos.
Curious how, yeah, it was interesting, Tanner.
Tanner got rid of Mendoza, so now he thinks he's like the cool guy again.
To me, Brady, this is that's to me, this is one of those videos where if you walking down the hallway and you do it, funny, fine. But to video it, edit the video and post it.
Right, that was pretty creative.
It was creative. It was creative.
Maybe we hire them to be our editors. They need editors. Maybe
I'm sure they would jump right on it.
I mean, we don't have. Josh ain't doing his job, so maybe they'll do it.
If you're a former player, Tanner, Lincoln, anybody in the chats right now, if you're a former player and your coach's daughter posts this, do you take it? First of all, do you take it serious, or do you laugh about it? Two, let's just leave it at that. Do you take it serious, or do you laugh about it? Curious to that. While they're talking about that, I do want to bring up, I agree with our good friend Lincoln Powell to an extent here. Diallo, Wilkins, Williams, Milan, and Moreno is a tough lineup. Personally, I almost like that better. I was waiting for a breakout from Cam Williams last year before he got hurt. And I think when you put him on the floor with Diallo, Wilkins, and Milan, it could happen. So I really like that lineup.
Yeah, another thing that they're gonna be doing is the bench. I think the bench is gonna be key. Like, you don't know how good Braden Hawthorne is. You don't know how good the Mo Williams kid is. You don't know how good. That's how my mom feels.
There you go, Carla. I pretty much agree with you.
But no, it's interesting. It's can we play the game?
Yes.
Can we skip to the game?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what the Wizards are going to do.
So, as everybody knows, over the last couple of days, I'm sure everybody in here has already played it. But over the past few days, this has come up on this website. Y'all may know more about this than I do, but the thing to me is, let me get it pulled up here.
Dude, I've played you know what? I like the 82-0 app better.
I do too.
App is easier. They need to change the Kentucky one like that.
I do too. I agree. I got
to a Final Four with Kentucky's yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did. The system likes the old players.
So here's what we're going to do, Brady. It does like the old players.
It likes like the 1950s when there was no three-point shot.
Yep, it does.
All right. Are you going to go first?
Here's what I think we do. How should we, in honor of Cody Stumbo, should we play rock, paper, scissors for who goes first?
All right, let's do it.
All right, ready? Just one time.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Sounds good.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Blue, no.
So you go first.
All right.
I want to see yours. So, if you've not seen this, first of all, get the hell out from under your rock, because this is taking over everything.
It's amazing.
Internet. But if you have played it, it's kind of taken over. Now, this came from the 82-0 app that Brady was talking about with NBA players. It functions much better, but somebody has made a Kentucky version called Big Blue Roulette. Brady, we're going to do your first spin. Now, here's what I want you to do. We're going to spin it, and you got to tell me who you're picking and why.
Okay. That's great. Right. That's great. Oh, 65. Oh, okay.
You got a good little squad there. You got Pat Riley, Louis Dampier.
Yeah, but man, I'm going to go up. All right. I'm picking between Louis and Pat. Okay. I'm going to go
Put in the comments who you think you'd pick too. You can help Brady out if you want.
I'm going to go Louis. Wait, no, hold on. No, hold on. I'm going to go, wait. No. Why is Pat listed as a potential power forward?
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm gonna go Pat. Can't go. You can't pick against Pat Riley.
Which position?
I'm gonna go small forward.
Okay. Tanner says at the 4.
Oh, I can't. He's not a 4. Like I could. I'm gonna go Pat. I think I like him. What I'm waiting for is maybe like a Cal point guard. There's a lot of guards late. I don't want to make Louis a point, so I'm gonna go small forward.
Final answer.
Final answer.
All right, so we got Pat Riley.
All right,
small forward. Spin number 2.
Oh my God,
89.90. Oh, you got Feldhouse in here. John Felfrey.
This isn't a good year. I don't know who Derek Miller is.
You've got the legendary Richie Farmer.
Yeah, but come on, man. All right, go up. Let's see what we got here. Darren Feldhouse. I think I'd have to go with Darren Feldhouse. I don't know. Well, no, I mean Derek Miller's got good points. I don't know who Derek Miller is. I'm sorry. Derek Miller. I'm gonna go Derek Miller. Derek Miller, shooting guard.
Ooh. Okay, final answer.
Yes.
All right. Third spin.
This is a good year. I've had this
good year.
Oh gosh, dang it! All right, I'm gonna go Tayshaun at the 4.
You mean you're not going with our boy?
Queez? No, because he won't answer my call to go.
So we're going Tayshaun at the 4.
At the 4. Tayshaun at the 4.
Tanner agrees. Tanner said Tayshaun. All right. We got 2 more spots, Brady.
Oh. Ooh. Easy. There we go, baby. Anthony Davis at the center.
That was quick. That was quick.
Come on, baby. Give me a good point guard. Give me a good point. Give me a good point.
Here he goes.
Come on, baby. Oh my God.
Oh,
what?
Back to the same. Oh, almost the same.
Travis Ford is Richie Farmer. Oh my gosh. Give me Richie at point.
You do have Richie.
Oh my gosh. This team, let me guess. This team's going to be like Sweet 16.
All right. So I do want to point out there that Tanner says I like Prince at the 4. Do you want to leave this roster as is, Brady, or do you want to move a couple guys?
No, I'm good. Keep it. We're good. Elite.
Ooh. So you do have some strong rim protection.
Better point guard.
Yeah. Your playmaking does need work. I don't know that Richie is your top. I don't know if he's an incredible playmaker. Richie had a lot better mid-range jump shot than his playmaking ability. Okay. All right. So Elite 8. That's going to be hard to beat. I don't think I've not even gotten a Final Four on this yet.
All right.
So here we go. It's my turn. Not my favorite.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, not my favorite.
There's some good players with bad stats. Man, Wes, I'm sorry.
Man, you know what? Like, I think I'm going to go Brandon Boston at the 3, and here's why. Just because when I think Brady, when you really break it down, Cal was at Kentucky for 15 years. I feel like of all positions, his small forwards are probably his 3 spots.
That's what I thought too. That's why I put, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put him at the 3. All right. Let's see what we got now. Oh, man. I'm getting eaten alive. Queese, I'm sorry. I'm like Brady. I can't go with you.
Until he gets on the show.
We got Eric. Honestly, if I was just doing this off of my love, I would go Kalina Azubuike at my 2 because he's my favorite Kentucky player of all time. But this year with 3.7 points a game, I don't know that that's the right move. Man, I love Keith Bogans, had a hell of an NBA career at point guard. So let's go Keith at the point. And I say that, Brady, because a lot of Cal's point guards, I think, can also play the 2.
there's a lot of flexibility.
A lot of flexibility. Ooh,
Well, you're getting some tough years.
I'm getting tough ones, man. I'm getting tough ones. I'm not going with Roderick Rhodes. You know, I can't. You know, Cordia. I say that because our good friend John Robick this weekend just recalled the story about getting gas siphoned out of his car.
Dude, we got to tell the story. We have to. We can't let people just not.
We'll tell it. We'll tell it. Remember Roderick Rhodes' story. We'll tell that in a minute.
We'll tell it after the show.
I got to go Tony Delkett too, I think. That's not my preference, but man, I better get like AD and of course. Brady, you cursed this thing for me, man.
But you ain't making the tournament.
I ain't making the tournament.
Johnny Cox. I mean, it's a Johnny Cox.
Stretch to put him at the 4, though. It's a stretch.
All right, you need a big center here.
Look here,
Rick Roby. He was an NBA player, I think.
He was. Brady, I've lost. I've lost on the Wednesday first round. Yep. Man, that's tough. So Brady wins the Big Blue Roulette. If you've played this, let us know how you did. If you want to share your graphic in the comments, feel free to do it. But Brady, congratulations.
Yes. We'll maybe we make this a tradition every time, every show we play this and see what we can get. We do want to tell the story. We don't want to leave you guys hanging. So we had our good friend Andrew Ortelli's pool day on Saturday. Coach Robick stopped by, say hi to everybody, big, leg camp. And Roderick Rhodes was the coach of Cordia. And I think what did he say? We were recruiting a 7-footer there, I think, right?
Umar. So if you remember Umar from Umar Kita from Cordia. If you remember Umar Kita from Cordia. And let me start out by saying excellent kid, right? Like I love that Robes went to Cordia to recruit this kid. Excellent kid.
This story is top 5. Like you cannot make it up.
Can't make it up. First of all, some of our listeners are from Eastern Kentucky. If you know where Cordia is on Lots Creek, this story means so much more to you.
We brought it up, and Coach Robick's so personable, and he's going through like, where are y'all from again? Yada yada yada. We've got half the crews from Eastern Kentucky, and he's like, I've been to Cordia, and there's a story where he went recruiting down there, and while he was in the gym, his gas got siphoned
out.
I can't remember. Did he say he was actually more mad that he just filled up his gas tank?
That was probably the funnier story, was the fact that he said that he had just filled his gas up at this gas station. Now you're in the middle of nowhere, and it went to the school, and he literally had to coast back down the hill to the same gas station to fill up again, like just a couple hours later. I want to show just so everybody, if you don't know where Cordia is, you need to be able to understand this story. All right. So Cordia, Lots Creek, Kentucky, a lot of good folks there. I love the area, but I want to show you where this is. You are in the middle of nowhere in between Knott County and Perry County. All right. And just to give you an idea, I don't even know if this will work here. I don't even know if the Google car has ever been out there. It has. Look here. Here is Cordia. All right. This is the school. It won't let me get all the way around there. It won't let me turn, but this is the school right here.
Dude, you can't make it up.
You can't make it up. I don't even know how to go back off of this at this point. Yeah, dude, right here. But that's the school. Brady gets this might give you a better view of the school. No, it's still ain't letting me. But that is Lots Creek, Kentucky, where Rove's got his car, the gas siphon of his car. Here it is. There's this is like a little area with the school. This is some of the spots. The players usually lived up here, stayed up here, Lost Creek. And this is Robes out of gas, man.
Man, I would do anything to be like a fly on the wall when he found out it was Siphon.
Oh, I would have loved to just had a recording device in his Escalade when he got out to the car and it wouldn't start.
Dude, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Here, Tanner's wanting the Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Sorry, Tanner. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in the comments here. Yeah, I want to see it as a Hoosier fan. That'll be interesting. Man, the Curse of Cordia. That was fun. I enjoyed playing that. So there's an 82-0 version as well where you can do NBA teams. It gets a little tougher for me just because, man, when you start looking at some of those NBA rosters, you've got 3 or 4 tough picks on every team.
You're good. I mean, it is, you can tell what organizations are good and what's not when you get to some of these other teams where they're like I remember I got on one yesterday, like the decade of the Clippers when they were really bad. You know, like one of their best players like Corey Maggette, Elton Brand. But they should do that for they should do that for counties in Kentucky.
Ooh. They should. That would be interesting. Brady, you did want to, before we do, I know we're winding down. Before we do go, you mentioned you wanted to talk a little bit about, that's been a couple days ago. It was June the 3rd. You wanted to talk a little bit about Nick Saban and his plea to Congress with basically fair play in the NCAA. So if you all don't know about it, Brady mentioned this. So it's essentially Saban went to Capitol Hill, basically told Congress that NIL and the portal era needs some rules before college sports just becomes completely professionalized and ruins college sports. So he went and advocated for some of those rules and regulations. Brady, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
He has a really good clip if it's on Twitter, but basically what he's saying is, you want to play it?
Yeah. Yep. I'll play it for you then.
He's exactly right. I mean, you'll see it.
Let me give you the history. My first year we had collective at Alabama, 2.7 million. Next year, 7 million. Next year, 10 million. I retired. Next year, 17 million. Next year, 24 million. Now you have schools that have close to $40 million rosters. So if we continue to do that, we're going to lose Olympic sports. We're going to lose non-revenue sports. We're going to lose scholarships. And basically what's going to happen is you're going to have football and basketball succeed, and we'll have club sports for everything else. Let me give you the history. My first year we had collective at Alabama, 2.7 million. Next year, 10 million. I retired. Next year, 17 million. Next year, 24 million. Now you have schools that have close to.
He's right. So basically what's happening is what schools are going to start looking at it. We may have talked about this on one podcast earlier. Like, is Arch Manning more important to Texas University than their swim and dive team? You know, is Malachi Tony at Miami, is he better than their softball, baseball, and soccer? Is he more important? Like, in all seriousness, he brings in more money for that school than probably every Olympic sport combined. And if they start looking at it that way, there's no reason to keep these sports. There's zero reason. But they need, that's what I think Nick Saban's thinking about. is they shouldn't be thinking that way. And I don't think they should be thinking that way either. But the way it's going, it can't be funded because these boosters, you've got these big time boosters now are paying for rosters. They're not going to be paying for, scholarships. They're not going to be paying for building upgrades. They're not going to be paying for anything. Like, they just need to break. If they're going to do it this way, they got to break away.
So, my curiosity gets me, Brady. I see both sides to this argument, right? You are exactly right in that, and Tanner as well, is that it's a business. And if you look from the business side, I think you're exactly right. Milan Momcilovic in a Kentucky basketball jersey is going to bring way more money than a swim and dive team at UK. I mean, totally fair. At the same time, if you continue to let NIL revenue and things go this way, you are going to eliminate those swim and dive sports. But let me ask you this. If you do regulate it, if you do put in contracts, if you do all of that, don't you still keep all of those same sports, all those same players, but then you also don't have to worry about bringing in as much money because you don't have to pay as much money.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The college sports, what they've done currently is college sports historically, since it's been started, has been always found a loophole. And, I was on a call, this week with the college coach that, cause I'm doing sales for, sports. And I always, whenever I talk to sports coaches, I'm always like, how's NIL affect you and all that? It's like, the creativity that these coaches have to make it legal in the confines of you always know those kids in school and like they'd always like somehow never do their work.
Yep.
And they're like, they never do their work, or they always find the easiest possible way to get it done. It's like, that's kind of how it's being operated. But, I really don't think we're far from Olympic sports being non-scholarshiped. I really don't think we're far. And unless they figure out a way to bring private equity into it, if they can pull money in from like private equity into these football and basketball teams, I think it could save it, just because they're not relying on the actual, but it's a big problem.
Well, and I think the biggest thing out of it, we've heard John Calipari say it over and over. These players aren't graduating. They're spending 6-7 years in college and not coming away with a degree. You can't, Brady. Let's face it. If you go to each of these colleges and you're transferring your transcripts each time, you are not going to have enough credit to graduate.
No, and that actually, it's crazy though. And people are forgetting, like, this is all still from COVID. Like, you had COVID happen, you had the transfer portal happen, and you had NIL happen all within like a 3-year window. And so it, like, unreal. Like, it's you. What do you think the best time to be the best? I think the best time to be a basketball player in college, or just in general, an athlete, was probably like freshman year of COVID. You got your extra year back, and you hit NIL 2 years later. Then you got extra.
That's probably true. I think you got to go back and look at it too, though. NIL, name, image, likeness, was developed because of lawsuits against the NCAA. And I agree with those lawsuits. The NCAA was making millions off of players' names, image, and likeness. And so, it's originally set up so that the players can sell the rights to their own name, image, and likeness. So if they want to sell a jersey at Foot Locker, they get the money from that, not the NCAA. If they want to develop a video game, which honestly was one of the leading things of this, then the players get the money from that video game, not the NCAA. But what it's turned into is it's been disguised as NIL and became pay for play. And so it's kind of taken away the initial meaning. And so, and we saw that clip of Nick Saban. What really that's trying to do, that's the Protect College Sports Act that's in front of Congress right now. And essentially it's asking to give athletes a federal right to earn real, actual NIL money, but then separating that from disguised pay for play, like we just talked about. Now, Brady, I think the challenge is that's hard to do, especially after it's went on for this many years at this point.
No, for sure. For sure. I wish I had. I'll that'll be my homework for this week. I'll try to find the original NIL rules that I received at Arizona State when the NCAA passed the NIL law.
I would love that.
It was like 10 bullet points, and it was like, I'll see if I can find it in my email. I don't think I have it, but I'll try to scrounge it up and we can put it up here because it's crazy. I think the only couple of rules were like, there was two main rules. The two main rules were you can't do anything with drugs and alcohol or gambling. And the second rule was the school cannot be any part of it. It's two rules.
Well, let me ask you this. Tanner says, I think it'll be tough to pass because I have to make sure it doesn't. Yeah, I agree, Tanner. That's gonna be tough. Would Mark Pope, let's say this passes, would Mark Pope benefit from more clear NIL and transfer rules, or does Kentucky thrive in this chaos because the brand and the money is so strong?
I think right now he needs the money.
Can we be on? You don't get Milan without $6 million.
Oh yeah, Milan's gone to the NBA without $6 million. Like you're not going to get Milan, and you're not like, I mean, you're not getting Milan if you get Stokes.
Right.
Things work out for a reason. I mean, I think you need the money. Like he's not like, and I mean that's just personality. I don't think he's like a salesman. Like he's not got that. It doesn't seem like that's kind of the guy who he is.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Tanner. I agree. I just think I think he would be okay to an extent, but not as good. You don't get certain players. I think Mark Pope looks for and needs a certain type of player anyway. So it might be okay. It would be curious to see. What I'm really curious out of this bill, and I want to know your opinion before we go, the one free transfer rule. How do you feel about that?
Yes. But the reason they don't want to do the one-time transfer is because then the NCAA doesn't want to do any of the waivers. So if you do one-time transfer, then people are going to get waivers for X, whatever it is. So it's, they want to do away with the waiver process.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think there should be incentive to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As of right now, a couple things we do know: the SEC and the Big Ten both have opposed the bill in its current form. So it's going to be curious to see. I don't think it can pass. I'm with Tanner. It's going to face some legal challenges, and it's also going to face a lot of backlash and things like that. I agree, Tanner. I'm with you there, and I think that's one of the things I agree with on John Calipari's philosophy. You get one free transfer. No questions asked, right? It doesn't matter why, one free transfer. But then even after you've done that one free transfer, if your coach leaves or gets fired, you can go.
I like it.
Yep. I'm like Tanner. Those are the two biggest conferences that need approval to pass anything. Brady, it's been fun. It's been fun. We've covered a lot. Milan's a cat. Big Blue Roulette has officially ruined any productivity in our jobs this week. We're not going to get a damn thing done with work. We get to enjoy the optimism in Big Blue Nation while it lasts until our buddy Matt Jones, not KSR Matt Jones, but the real one, said that he was going to love Austin Kidd's disappointment come February. So we'll see how long the optimism lasts. But it won't last long. By tomorrow, somebody will find something to be mad about with the ninth man in the rotation. So it's all good.
It's almost football season. We got some more stuff to talk about, but maybe next week we got a guest. We'll work on it.
Yes. We also, Brady, we ran out of time. We didn't get to talk much about baseball. We wanted to talk about Kentucky baseball and the shit show we saw in Morgantown the other day. I don't know what happened there, but Tanner's jealous that we have Milan, so that's interesting.
They got a good team. Indiana's got a good team.
Indiana's going to be all right. They're starting to get back to Indiana roots. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Yeah, football coming up. That's going to be good. Brady, I hope that we get to look out for possibly some, the drill live from some tailgates. It's what we're trying to work out.
We keep saying it. We need to just do it.
We need to just do it. So look out for us there. Hopefully you'd come join us if we do it. Brady, that does it for the drill. It's been fun. Until next time.